I'm here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA.
The manner of death was homicide.
That we can't explain.
Welcome to Murder, Mystery, and the Unknown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Murder, Mystery, and the Unknown. It's been a while since we recorded.
We're a little rusty.
Yeah. We had a lot of, personal stuff going on in our lives, right? Alex, anything big happen?
Brought 2 more humans into this world.
No! Yeah, you had twins, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Congrats.
Thanks. When's their birthday? December 2nd. I
What?
confirmed with my wife. Is it? Yeah. Oh, you remember that? Oh, what was the
No,
same as my mom's? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, now, if you forget, I won't forget. You could ask me. We were talking earlier, and he was saying that he couldn't remember his... You were talking to a customer, no?
Yeah, it's because like my second born is on the second también.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I was getting like confused, mixed up.
So you have 3 on the second now.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We thought we were special.
No, but in August.
Yeah,
Oh.
August and
Oh,
December.
so
yeah.
then we are special. All right, never mind. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's huge, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's your life been since?
Sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
What
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I had a pretty big move too. Literally a move, right? I relocated from Miraloma up here with you guys to Hesperia. So that's been pretty cool too. We like it so far. It's different, but it's cool.
So far.
Yeah, so far.
You'll love it up here.
Can't complain.
What about you?
I'm going to be a daddy.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, huh? That was before. Damn. Hey,
A lot happened
some time has passed.
in between our break.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, I got the news December. What's my dad's birthday? December 13
Mhm.
was when Adriana told me. And then yeah, she's like 10 weeks right now.
It hasn't even been that long, huh? It's been like a month only.
Since I found out a
Yeah.
little more, no?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like a month and a week.
Yeah. And time passes by quick, dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our last episode that I was looking it up right now that we uploaded was November 21st.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was even before Thanksgiving.
All right, so we have some stuff that we can talk about then, because I was gonna say I don't remember if we talked about the World Cup, huh?
Oh, well, no, we
All
didn't.
right, well, I mean, I know it's been like for
That was
people
tragic.
listening, yeah, it's been like a
For Mexico.
month and a month and a couple of days. But you guys both predicted that France was gonna win, and or that they were gonna win. Sorry,
Well,
and they got to the final.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody predicted Argentina.
Nah, especially how they played their first game, but
Yeah, no, against Saudi Arabia. It's cool for them, obviously, because it's like what a perfect tournament for them. Like they come in losing their first game, and they're probably like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait another 4 years," but then they go on to win it all, right?
What about Morocco?
Crazy. I like, yeah,
what did they call the black horse? Is that what they call
Yeah.
the underdogs when
the
they
dark horse,
the dark horse?
Mhm.
What did I say?
black horse, same thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. There's always that team, huh? Every
Yeah.
World Cup, there's always that team, and you always hope it's Mexico, but it never is.
you always hope Mexico is a lot of things.
Yeah, it was really cool though. It's funny because you watch those games and you go back to watching like your regular like Sunday league, or the like the Premier League, and for us the Mexican league and stuff like that. And fuck, it's like a whole step up, man.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
And then did you know that Ngannou left the UFC? Do you know who he is?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. He's the same one though that his contract was gonna be up, right, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, huh?
Yeah, they were just trying to negotiate a new contract and it.
When
It didn't happen.
was this announced?
Last week exactly.
Yeah?
It was raining.
Yeah, it was recently.
Yeah.
I think I saw that Ronaldo posted some pictures of
Oh, with him and
Right?
Ngannou, yeah.
That was him.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
On
know.
Instagram.
Yeah, I guess they were in Saudi Arabia or somewhere out there.
So what was the reason behind that?
They just couldn't come to terms.
Yeah, he thinks he should be getting paid more.
It wasn't related to money.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He turned down $8 million a fight for
No,
how many?
it could be more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't disclose that. He was just saying that they were gonna make him the highest paid heavyweight in UFC history, and I think Brock Lesnar was one of the highest, and I think he was getting paid like $8 million per fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was gonna be more than him, but it wasn't that. I think it was just he just wanted like healthcare, more freedom for sponsors, and like I guess like a fighter advocate or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I wonder because like I know for soccer you're as a player and as teams you're like allowed to do pretty much anything as long as it doesn't reflect poorly. Like you as a player you can't do anything that reflects poorly on the team.
Yeah.
But like for baseball, right? And it's something that maybe you don't notice when you watch it, but they don't have sponsors on their shirts.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Other than the manufacturer, I believe, right? Did you ever notice that?
Well, no, but they get paid a lot either way.
Yeah, well, that's
Hey,
true.
and they make bank.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
true.
Yeah, they make a lot of money.
Give me a male stand out there in the
But it's interesting because like every sport has its different thing, right? And I know we joke about you, or we joke about you. By the way,
You're a joke, Adam.
I'm leaving.
my bad. No, we joke with you about how boxers get paid way more than UFC fighters. But this isn't necessarily about the money, right? This is more about like I guess like benefits and
Yeah, he just wanted more, I guess.
yeah, that's interesting. So what's
It's crazy because let's assume it was 8 million. With 8 million, you could buy all the benefits you want.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe,
But he wasn't just
it's
doing
probably
it for
it's
him, though.
deeper than that. Yeah,
He wanted it for the other fighters.
yeah.
so Jake Paul's right. I'm just playing.
Well, did you see that who got signed to the PFL?
What is that? PFL?
It's another MMA organization.
Jake Paul? Really?
Mm-hmm.
So he's. I wonder if that's just for like clout, you know?
I don't think so.
It seems like he wants to take down the UFC. Maybe not take him down, but he wants to.
Leverage stuff.
I
Yeah.
think his intentions seem good.
They
right?
seem good, yeah.
But who knows like what's really being obviously money. You know?
I mean, he made it. He in that little promo video that he made with
Mhm.
the PFL, he made it sound really like okay,
yeah,
you know, for some MMA fighters maybe
Yeah.
to go over to the PFL.
yeah. Like I said, it sounds really good, but who knows like how it actually plays out. That's gonna be interesting though within like the next couple of years. I'll have to see how that
Oh, yeah.
develops. What if
Yeah.
they sign Ngannou?
Well, I heard that he offered Ngannou a 2-fight deal,
Mm-hmm.
one in boxing, and then 6 months later, MMA fight.
Boxing against him.
Against him?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Pinche
Yeah.
loco. He did the same thing then with Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Where he wants to box
Well, I mean,
him.
Jake Paul's big.
Yeah, he's not small.
You think he's Ngannou big though?
No.
I
I
no,
don't think
but
so.
I mean, he's tall. He's
Nate
big.
Diaz, yeah. I think he's
Nate Diaz is small. I mean, he fights at, or he used to fight at 155.
No, but I think Nate Diaz makes more sense than Ngannou. Ngannou's huge,
I mean,
bro.
he'd be. Well, yeah, but I mean,
Like look at Ronaldo in that picture with him and Ronaldo. Ronaldo looks kind of small.
how
next to
big?
him.
How big is Ronaldo though?
How tall? Like
Yeah.
6'3", no? Or
I think
Nah, Ngannou's like 6'4".
well, but like if you like in the picture, it makes
He's
it seem like
6'2".
Ngannou's so much bigger.
Who?
Ronaldo.
Okay, Ngannou's like 6'4".
But I don't think Jake Paul's that tall.
Jake
I could
Paul-
be wrong.
I think Jake Paul. I think he's like 6'2".
But Ngannou has a
Yeah,
lot of like,
Ngannou's
body mass.
6'4".
Yeah, 6'4". Huh?
Ngannou has a lot of like body mass
No,
too.
yeah, he does.
Which could be.
But Jake Paul's big though.
I was gonna. Yeah. He's not
He's-
small.
yeah.
No, he's not small. How tall is Nate Diaz? Give or take.
6 feet.
Is he? I thought he was like my height. Let me
Maybe.
see.
I mean, those UFC stats are
Yeah.
way up.
That's funny.
He's 6 feet, but sometimes it's not what they say. It's
Well,
weird.
It's funny because this last fight with KSI, it says he's 6 feet. He's not fucking 6 feet.
Who, KSI?
Yeah, he's not 6 feet.
How tall is he?
It's like 5'10". Yeah, it's funny because he in his videos he always says he's 6 feet, but he knows that he's lying, right? And then somebody like they took a picture of him standing up, and then they like fucking they dove into it. Like they did some crazy fucking math and they
too.
revealed his height. And he put it in his video. He's funny about it because like he'll put shit like that in his
Yeah.
video. He'll make fun of himself. And he's like, I am 5'10". I'm not fucking.
Did you see that the professional boxer fought in that last
Oh,
case?
the Mexican.
Hey,
What was his name? Luis
did you watch
Pineda?
him fight?
Nah, I saw that he
I
won.
didn't
though.
watch it,
Hey,
but
wait, he looked pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I saw and when he was coming in, the
Uh-huh.
commentators
Oh, yeah,
were
that-
professional
Undertaker
thing."
fighters back. Even they were making fun
Hey,
of him,
his
but he
intro
looked
was
pretty good.
sick.
Yeah, but he looked pretty good in the fight.
Yeah?
walkout?
I didn't watch
The
it.
other guy didn't really get much like.
I mean, who did he
to-
fight?
I don't know. I don't know who these people. I know some of them because they're like influencers and shit like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I didn't even know Pineda. I don't even know who he is.
Salt Poppy.
Oh, that guy's fucking good, bro. Like crazy. I think he's better than everybody.
Yeah, he
I
is.
think. Yeah.
I
without a
heard, I
doubt.
heard that he got a misfit title because I guess there was a guy that was holding the title,
Mhm.
and I guess he left, so it was vacant, and they gave it to him.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody like as far as like influencers. I don't think there's anybody that fights as good as him. There's this doctor guy that's supposed to be really good.
My
Dr.
boy.
I don't know who he is. Is he
got
good?
beat.
Well, he lost
To
to
who?
one of Nate Diaz's.
But I mean, he lost to a professional fighter.
Yeah.
So.
Mm. That's different.
right?
Yeah.
But even the guy that he fought before that didn't look like, because Dr. Mike's in shape and the other guy looked kind of out of shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
But I mean,
alright.
if you know how to fight,
Yeah.
you know.
KSI booked me in one of your cards. I'll do
Hey,
it for 5K.
Speaking,
Take on Pineda.
take on Pineda, you'll beat him for sure. Speaking of vacant title, I guess that's thing. I looked into tickets for the John Jones fight versus.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Hey, the cheapest ones were 400. And-
I saw 300.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have gotten it. Hey, I was like, it would be crazy if we go and watch the return of,
John Jones.
but nah.
Is that the funny one? Or is it no?
Funny?
There's this
No,
funny
that
one
guy's
that's
serious.
he's a heavyweight, right?
Yeah,
John
he's a
Jones?
heavyweight.
There's a funny one. Did he fight a funny guy? No? Maybe I'm tripping.
Funny? No.
The guy that drinks the beer out of the shoe.
Oh, Tai Tuivasa?
No.
he
definitely
fought
not.
Gan, what's his name?
Gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Cyril
Gone.
Gone, yeah. And he lost. And then he lost his last fight too. Got knocked out. But yeah, I mean, then we got Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, supposedly, right? I haven't seen that that it's been confirmed.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
See?
confirmed.
Wasn't this the fight that was supposed to happen like a while back too?
Well, they just been going back and forth.
Yeah,
They're just
right,
like two barking dogs. They don't do nothing.
Yeah, that sucks. Are they the best in their what are they, lightweights?
Allegedly.
There's a lot of good foods there, though.
But they don't fight each other because they're
Yeah.
all scared.
I mean,
I feel like that's what boxing is though. Like you build
know,
up your
Tony was telling me that if that thing does go through with Jake Paul,
Uh-huh.
he says that
Wait, which part? With the PFL thing?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's afraid that it's gonna become like boxing, where since there's gonna be different promotions now, PFL and UFC,
Uh-huh.
that it's gonna be like boxing where the best don't fight the best because of the promoters getting in the way.
For MMA?
Yeah, for MMA,
No.
like you'll never know if like PFL's heavyweight is gonna beat UFC's heavyweight, kind of.
Well, I mean, that's how it is right now. They can't fight.
Well, yeah, but they don't have to because that the best ones are in the UFC. You get me? But I mean, like, if what he meant was like if they start pulling in
Uh-huh.
some of the better guys,
Like you're never gonna see the really good
Yeah.
fights.
Mm.
if it ends up being that they have half of the good guys and then,
Oh, the other person has
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see.
And then you got Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I heard that's just set.
That's that's like this is gonna be like the third or fourth time, no?
But Jake Paul's gonna win, like for sure. No, he is, dog. Like, I don't want him to win, but he is, bro. have
Against
you seen
Tommy Fury?
Have you seen the fight?
Nah.
Doesn't fucking fight, dog.
No?
There was this fight. He was the undercard on one of on the was it the Mayweather Deji one? He was one of
I
the
don't know.
undercards, bro.
Really?
But did he win?
Yeah, he won, but it was like boring, fucking nothing. Like you wish he was a fucking like,
Tyson Fury?
yeah, like a little bit like his brother.
Really?
Like, nah, it's different.
I saw somewhere that Tyson
Levels.
Fury said that if he loses to Jake Paul, for him to stay in the fucking desert
Yeah,
or something like that.
it's
Ouch.
yeah. I don't know. I think that's gonna be I think that's why Tommy Fury doesn't take the fight, because I think he knows he's gonna lose.
But I mean, he didn't take the fight once because I guess he had visa issues or something like that.
There was one where he he broke his ribs, but he
Oh yeah, that.
Then
And
the second one was the visa passport issue
yeah.
that he couldn't be somewhere. I forgot, here or in the UK. I don't know.
I think it was here.
No, Tommy Fury is from the UK.
Yeah, huh? So
Yeah.
he couldn't come here. or
Yeah.
something.
Probably. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see, dog. You know, like there's a lot of I don't know a lot about, fighting and boxing. I like watching it though, but
Saul Poppy.
that was a fucking baller, dog. I want to see him fight against, like, they should make the Jake Paul KSI fight, and then whoever wins from that, this fool should fight him.
I think
And
Saul
he's gonna-
Poppy should just fight KSI, and he's gonna beat him.
Yeah,
who's
but
next
that's
for
what I'm
KSI?
saying. But it's
What?
Who's next for KSI? No one.
Jake Paul.
no, there is somebody else.
Who? Another whack.
Hey, this guy that he fought's not whack.
No.
That guy, he's an actual, like, not an actual fighter, but he had been like fighting, since he was like a little kid.
The guy that he just fought.
Yeah. But I don't
Well, you know how
much.
KSI does.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Demolishes everybody. The GOAT.
Oh, I like it because it's entertaining. That card, that Misfits card was pretty cool. All the
Yeah.
fights were like really fucking. You just watch like the recap on YouTube, and most of them were like stoppages or knockouts.
Oh no, I don't know. I just scrolling through Twitter.
And you just
Just
see like,
saw
oh, this is who
videos.
won.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a really quick recap of it on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes. I think it's worth the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that KSI blitzed that guy.
Yeah.
That's how you won.
There's that other guy that was on that card. I forget his name. I think it's like, it's Slim some shit.
Mm-hmm.
He fought that same guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he knocked him out in 3 rounds. Yeah. And I think that's the next one that KSI wants to fight. That Slim guy.
Slim.
Yeah. Slim some shit. He looks like he can fight too.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see, huh? All right. Anything else happen within the last 2 months? It has been 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. No, huh? I think that's it. I mean, there's probably a lot that we're missing.
Yeah, for now I think
We'll come back to everything else in 2 more months. We're gonna release an episode every 2 months.
No.
All right. Well, before we get started, I need to take a leak. I drink so much water that I'm taking a leak like every 30 minutes.
All right, just go.
Yeah.
The Villisca axe murders occurred between the evening of June 9th, 1912 and the early morning of June 10th, 1912 in the town of Villisca, Iowa, United States. The 6 members of the Moore family and 2 guests were found bludgeoned in the Moore residence. All 8 victims, including 6 children, had severe head wounds from an axe. A lengthy investigation yielded several suspects, one of whom was tried twice. Their first trial ended in a hung jury, and the second ended in an acquittal. The crime remains unsolved. So, I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of this case before.
Nope.
It's like one of the most famous unsolved murder cases, and you're going to see why it's, I mean, just knowing that 8 people died in one house over one night is fucking crazy, right? Usually it's like there's spaced out killings and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then the way that they were killed was with an axe. So it's not like,
Wait a minute.
I'm telling
Wasn't
you.
I telling you something like this? Like
Yeah,
a week ago?
You were.
Is it the same guy?
I don't know.
What'd you?
I've never
What's it
heard of
called?
it.
Villisca axe
Villisca?
murders. Yeah. It's named after the city.
You did tell me something about
Yeah, that I
axe.
heard it in a podcast about
You
some guy.
did. You did.
But I know that wasn't like the only one. I know there's been other similar like murderers that have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, just go on with your story, and I'll be able to tell if it's the same one.
Yeah. Yeah. I know of another one that's kind of like this, but that guy got caught for sure.
Oh no, this guy didn't get caught.
No. Yeah. This one, they've never been able to find out who it is.
Might be the same one, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much before the murders, right? Sometime around midnight between Sunday, June 9th and Monday, June 10th, a person or persons entered a modest house in Villisca, Iowa, and bludgeoned to death 8 people sleeping there, including 2 adults and 6 children aged 5 through 12. The killing became known as the Villisca Axe murders and are easily the most notorious murders in Iowa history. So the murders spawned nearly 10 years of investigations, repeated grand jury hearings, a spectacular slander suit and murder trial, and numerous Jesus, I'm fucking, my bad. Minor litigations and trials. The horrific crime made and broke political careers. So the night before the murders, right? On Sunday evening, June 9th, 1912, Josiah Moore and his wife Sarah took their 4 children, Herman, who was age 11, Catherine, age 10, Boyd, age 7, and 5-year-old Paul to the Children's Day service at the Presbyterian, I think is how you pronounce the church. Accompanying them were Lena, age 12, and Ina Stillinger, neighbors who had asked their parents permission to stay overnight with the Moore children. Now, the Children's Day service was an end-of-the-year Sunday school program. Sarah Moore was a co-director, and her children performed their little speeches and recitations along with other Sunday school members. The service ended with a social mingling that lasted until at least 9:30 p.m. When parishioners left on that cloudy, damp, and cool night, no one suspected that neither the Moores nor their overnight guests would be seen alive again. So they walked the 3 blocks to their home, cookies and milk, ended the festive evening, and all went to bed. Sometime after midnight, the killer or killers picked up Joe's axe from the backyard, entered the house, and bludgeoned to death all 8 of the occupants. So that's what's kind of crazy about this too, is that he was whoever did this killing. It's more than likely only one person, and we'll go into that a little bit more. But whoever did it was able to do it without waking anybody else. And there's like a little, I guess, detail that makes that a little bit more hard to believe, but we'll go into that again in a bit, okay? So by 7:30 a.m. on June 10th, Mary Peckham, an elderly neighbor to the west, became concerned that the Moore's house seemed quiet and deserted. So this wasn't something that was normal. They were usually up pretty early in the morning. They had like a little farm. They attended to animals, stuff like that. And neighbors saw that, right? Mm-hmm. So she called Joe's brother Ross, a local druggist, who arrived at about 8 a.m. to look around. His cautious inspection of the downstairs revealed 2 figures covered with a sheet in the back room, and he also saw blood on the bedstead. Ross stepped back and away from the crime scene and called Joe's hardware store, telling employee Ed Shelley to fetch the marshal, Henry Horton, because something, quote, terrible had happened, unquote. Hank the marshal arrived at about 8:30 a.m., went through the house and found, as he told Ross when he came out, somebody murdered in every bed. The partially clean murder weapon was left leaning against the south wall of the downstairs bedroom where the visiting Stillinger girls were found. So we're going to get into a little bit more about the details of the murder scene. So it's a little bit hard to listen to, but you know, it's interesting enough to, I think, for you to bear with us. So the killer had added 2 bizarre touches to the murder scene. The first was a 4-pound piece of slab bacon leaning against the wall next to the axe. The murderer also searched dresser drawers for pieces of chlorine to cover the mirrors in the house and the glass in the entry doors. On the kitchen table was a plate of uneaten food and a bowl of bloody water. All the victims were found in their beds, their heads covered with clothes, and all their skulls battered 20 to 30 times with the blunt end of the axe.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why?
I think so, but I would assume that because that's what's gonna knock them out, right?
No. Because if you use a sharp end, it will get stuck.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
How do you know that?
I was gonna say,
man?
hey, bro,
hey,
no.
I want to go home.
Nah.
He's like, I've heard of this when I was there. I'm just kidding. All right, this is 1912. The ceiling in the parents' bedroom and the children's room upstairs showed gouge marks apparently made by the upswinging of the axe. Though Lena Stillinger's nightgown had been pushed up as she'd been left exposed, doctors concluded she had not been sexually abused. Lena also had a blood stain on her knee and an alleged defensive wound on her arm. So it's thought that she was actually the only one who was awake while she was murdered. I think it's obviously 1912, so it's a little bit difficult to tell, but they believe that she was the only one who actually was able to fight back against the attacker, which, again, it's kind of crazy because a lot of the bedrooms were shared.
Uh-huh.
So he was able to kill people in the same room.
Yeah.
Right. The Moore Stillinger's funeral services were held in Villisca Town Square on June 12, 1912, with thousands in attendance. National Guardsmen blocked the street as a hearse moved towards the firehouse where the 8 victims lay. Their caskets, not on display during the funeral, were later carried on several wagons to the Villisca Cemetery for burial. The funeral cortege was 50 carriages long. So far, I mean, pretty crazy, right? I mean, just the facts of it, how somebody was able to infiltrate a house. And if you think about it, was it that person's plan to kill that night? Because the axe that was used was actually the homeowner's axe, which usually if you plan to kill somebody, right, you take the murder weapon with you.
Yeah. But look, I think I've heard this story before, and I heard it on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, really?
But I heard it a little bit differently, just a little bit. So I guess this guy, the guy that they think did it, they think that he was like basically watching them from the barn for a few days. And then what I heard was that that supposedly he did this during the day after church. But I mean, I think yours goes like in the night, right?
Well, the day after so like the little event they had, it was kind of special because it was the last
It was like
Sunday
an
school they
evening
had.
type of
Yeah,
thing.
so then when they went home,
Uh-huh.
they think that the murders happened in the midnight.
Okay. Yeah, because what I heard was that this guy he killed the parents and I guess some of the kids upstairs, and I guess I can't remember if it was like one of the girls, one of the little girls, or maybe two, that they were down in the basement playing with the two friends that they had over, and then that he went down there and killed them down there at the basement. And they think that it was this person that used to travel by train.
So there's like a lot of again, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of suspects that they actually look into. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different suspects that we're gonna go over. So maybe one of them, because again, I remember listening about this on the podcast like you did. It was a long time ago, so I don't remember the exact details of it. So we're gonna go over pretty much every suspect really quick, okay? But so far, like I said, it's pretty crazy. I do remember that there was a theory that either that person did not plan to kill that day, or that person had that exact plan where they knew where everything was, where they knew where everybody would have been, right? And given that that family was away for a long time that day, they probably had time to like scout the house and look inside and see where everything was at, right? But so investigation over time, many possible suspects emerge, including you guys can tell how how long it's been since we recorded, but
He's rusty.
Yeah, a little bit. Over time, many suspects emerge, including Reverend George Kelly, Frank F. Jones, William Mansfield, Loving Mitchell, that's a cool name, Paul Mueller, and Henry Moore, no relation. Kelly was tried twice for the murder. That's the guy that was tried twice. The first trial, again, ended in a hung jury, and the second one ended in an acquittal. And then other suspects in the investigation were also exonerated. So the first one is Andrew Sawyer, probably the one that we know, or not that we know least about, but that it seems like they ruled him out pretty quick. So every transient and otherwise unaccounted for stranger was a suspect in the murders. Andrew Sawyer was one of those people. He was interrogated but not charged. So pretty much this was a guy that wasn't very well known in the community, right? Mm-hmm. But it seemed that like his alibi was good enough for them to be like, okay, well, it couldn't have been this guy, so they let him go pretty quick, right? Now, Reverend George Kelly was a pretty, weird suspect, I guess. Kelly was an English-born traveling minister in town on the night of the murders. Kelly was described as peculiar, reportedly having suffered a mental breakdown as an adolescent. Jeez, man, my bad. As an adult, he was accused of peeping and several times asking young women and girls to pose nude for him. On June 8, 1912, he came to Villisca to teach at the Children's Day services, which the Moore family attended on June 9, 1912. He left town before 5 a.m. and 5:50 a.m. on June 10th, hours before the bodies were discovered. Reverend Kelly had confessed to the murders in court, but the jury didn't believe his confession.
What?
Yep. So, in the weeks that followed, he displayed a fascination with the case and wrote many letters to the police, investigators, and family of the deceased. This aroused suspicion, and a private investigator wrote back to Reverend Kelly asking for details that the minister might know about the murders. Kelly replied with great detail, claiming to have heard sounds and possibly witnessed the murders. His no mental illness made authorities question whether he knew the details because of having committed the murders or was imagining his account. In 1914, 2 years after the murders, Kelly was arrested for sending obscene material through the mail. That's crazy. Sending obscene material through the mail. He was sexually harassing a woman who applied for a job as a secretary. He was sent to St. Elizabeth's Hospital, the National Mental Hospital in Washington, D.C. Investigators speculated again that Kelly could be the murderer of the Moore family. In 1917, Kelly was arrested for the Villisca murders. Police obtained the confession from him. However, it followed many hours of interrogation, and Kelly later recanted. After 2 separate trials, he was acquitted. So this is a guy who was actually tried, but then, found not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Just to dive a little bit more into this guy, it just seems like he could be the person, right?
Well, yeah, he gets there. He gets there the day before or 2 days before?
Yeah, 1 day before.
1 day before, and then he leaves that same morning, right?
Yeah, before the elderly neighbor finds
before
calls
they
the brother.
discover the bodies. I mean, as of right now, between him and
The other guy.
is. Well, I found another detail. I found a detail on the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
That said that he was obsessed with the murders and slept fully clothed as if he was ready to make a clean getaway, and he also slept with an axe by his bed. But
yeah, so this is like some that's why that's why I want to go over all the suspects. I actually didn't know that about the first guy, but because they all have like something kind of weird about them. So the first guy, which is Andrew Sawyer,
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
it's when there were murders back in 1912, a lot of them were what's called a drifter, which is somebody who just kind of like goes from city to city, right? And that's like perfect with who this guy was at the time of the murders. But that's interesting. I did not know that those details about him. Like,
I mean, I wonder where they got those details from, because I don't see a.
Mm-hmm. And because it's such a long time ago, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
find reliable,
But I guess interesting to think about.
Yeah, but so moving on. So Frank F. Jones is another one. So Frank Fernando Jones was a Villisca resident and an Iowa state senator. Josiah Moore had worked for Frank Jones at his implement store for many years before leaving to open his own store. Moore reportedly took business away from Jones, including a very successful John Deere dealership. Moore was rumored to have had a sexual affair with Jones' daughter-in-law, though no evidence supports this. So this guy wasn't really this was more of like a the town thinks that it was him, like a chisme type of thing, like a is it chisme in English?
Gossip?
There you go. Like a gossip type of thing where there's no real evidence, but they're like, oh well, he fucked him over, so he he got
just
revenge for what happened.
assumptions and stuff.
Yeah. Now, William Mansfield. Another theory was that Senator Jones hired William Blackie Mansfield to murder the Moore family. 9 months before the murders at Villisca, a similar case of axe murder occurred in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 2 axe murder cases followed in Ellsworth, Kansas, and Paola, Kansas. The cases were similar enough to raise the possibility of having been committed by the same person. Other murders reported as possibly being linked to these crimes included the numerous unsolved axe murders along the Southern Pacific Railroad from 1911 through 1912. The unsolved Axeman of New Orleans killings, as well as other such murders during this time period. The murders in Colorado Springs were closely related in execution to those in the Moore house. H.C. Wayne, his wife and child, and Mrs. A.J. Burnham were found dead, murdered with an axe. Bed sheets were used to cover the windows to prevent passerbys from looking in. So that's something that kind of correlates with what this guy did. So I think this guy used those bed sheets to cover the bodies. But it's thought that maybe that he could have been looking for more to cover the windows, right? And I lost my spot. Okay, at the Morehouse, the murderer hung aprons and skirts to cover the windows. And in the murders of Villisca, the murderer in Colorado wiped the blood. As in the murders in Villisca, the murderer in Colorado Springs wiped the blood off his axe and covered the heads of the victims with bedclothes. So very, very similar things that happened in both these cases. Which is why they think that these two cases could correlate. So Mansfield was also the prime suspect of the Burns Detective Agency of Kansas City and Detective James Newton Wilkerson, who suggested that he was a cocaine-addicted serial killer. According to contemporary news reports, Wilkerson believed Mansfield was responsible for the axe murders of his wife, infant child, father-in-law, and mother-in-law in Blue Island, Illinois, on July 5th, 1914, 2 years after the Villisca murders. The axe murders committed in Paola, Kansas, 4 days before the Villisca murders, and the murders of Jenny Peterson and Jenny Miller in Aurora, Illinois. So this guy's pretty much getting linked to all the fucking axe murders and, within the fucking a certain radius. According to Wilkerson's investigation, all of the murders were committed in precisely the same manner, indicating that the same man probably committed them. Wilkerson stated that he could prove that Mansfield was present in each of the differing crime scenes on the night of the murders. In each murder, the victims were hacked to death with an axe and the mirrors in the homes were covered. A burning lamp with the chimney off was left at the foot of the bed, and a basin in which the murder washed was found in the kitchen. In each case, the murderer avoided leaving fingerprints by wearing gloves, which Wilkerson believed was strong evidence that the man was Mansfield, who knew his fingerprints were on the file at the federal military in Leavenworth. Wilkerson managed to convince the grand jury to open an investigation in 1916, and Mansfield was arrested and brought to Montgomery County from Kansas City. Excuse me. Payroll records, however, provided an alibi that placed Mansfield in Illinois at the time of the Villisca murders. He was released for lack of evidence and later won a lawsuit he brought against Wilkerson and was awarded $2,225, which, Carlos, can you look up how much $2,225 was?
A whole lot of money.
Yeah, back in 1912 or 1916, sorry.
How much, sorry?
$2,225. Let me just finish this thing before you tell me the amount. Wilkerson believed that pressure from Jones resulted not only in Mansfield's release, but also in the subsequent arrest and trial of Reverend Kelly. So those two kind of correlate. How much was that? Jamie. Carlos. I wish we had a Jamie. You're too slow.
It's worth roughly around $67,000 today.
I thought it was more, but that's still a lot, right?
Yeah.
That'll pay off a couple debts.
I mean, according to this inflation calculator online.
Yeah. I mean,
I picked the first one I could find.
We believe you. We believe you. So, however, R.H. Thorpe, a restaurant owner from Shenandoah, Iowa. I like how I know what Shenandoah is because it's from that song. No? Shenandoah, what? No?
I don't know.
Sorry. Identified Mansfield as a man he saw the morning after the Villisca murders boarding a train at Clarinda. This man said he had walked from Villisca. If proven to be true, this testimony would disprove Mansfield's alibi. Furthermore, it was reported that a Miss Vina Tompkins of Marshalltown was on her way to testify that she heard 3 men in the woods plotting the murder of the Moore family a short time before the killings. So this Mansfield guy, I mean, you hear the Reverend Kelly thing and you're like, oh, well, it's him, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's 100% that Reverend Kelly guy. But then you hear about this guy and you're like, well, fuck.
Well, I thought it was a reverend until they mentioned that he was mentally unstable.
Yeah, so that's why this case is so famous as well. Obviously, it's unsolved, right? And there just seems to be too many people that could have committed the murder, but they're not able to pin it on one single person. So what do you guys think about this guy?
Well,
I know I gave you guys a shitload of information that probably wasn't necessary, but
I don't know if that's the same guy that they mentioned in the podcast that I listened to. But basically, I mean, if that's him, then it could be him because a lot of the stuff or the other axe murders
Mhm.
that happened has like similar things, you know?
I was
Like you
gonna say,
said.
in my opinion, they're definitely all connected, right?
I think so.
Right, like all the
I think
those
so.
those
Yeah, I
small
mean, it
details.
seems to
The other victims, do you know if he also hit them with the
Blunt,
other
yes.
end of the axe?
it doesn't say, but I don't think so because, I mean, that would be something pretty, what's it called, pretty huge to leave out, you know, if that was the case.
Because you turn into mush first. And then
You're scaring me, man.
then you bring the sharp part.
Alex, you know too much. Like, the next person on this list is Alex. Yeah. So again, this guy seems to have like a lot of evidence going against him, right? To make it seem like he could be the killer.
I mean, there's no doubt this was all planned, right? This didn't happen.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like
I think what you were saying about that they think there was like somebody like watching them in the barn and stuff like that. I think that's more of a theory than like
I don't know, man.
because I remember hearing that, but I think, like I said, it's more of a theory than an actual, you know, something that actually happened. Because who would do that? No.
Well, yeah, like from what I heard, it was this guy that would travel by train from place to place.
mhm.
He would stalk, you
Uh-huh.
know, and then he would go ahead and do these crimes. He would cover the mirrors. He would cover the windows. I heard he would cover the mirrors because supposedly he didn't want to see himself after. And then I can't remember if this was the same guy or not, pero también that he would eat with the dead bodies after. And then I don't know. I'm telling you, I think this might be the same case. But from what I heard is that after he murdered those little girls, he went down there and did some other stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then and yeah. I mean, I think it could be the same guy, especially if there's like similar things. You know what I mean? That match.
Yeah, I'm just reading it, but yeah, maybe.
Why he would do it, I don't know.
I mean, why do any of these fuckers do anything like this, right? We'll never know. But the next guy on the list is Henry Lee Moore. So same last name, but they're not related in any way. So Henry Lee Moore was a suspected serial killer, who was convicted of the murder of his mother and grandmother several months after the murders in Villisca. His weapon of choice being an axe. Before and after the murders in Villisca, the very similar axe murders on his mother and grandmother were committed, and all of the cases showed striking similarities, leading to strong suspicion that some or all of the crimes were committed by an axe murdering serial killer. And just like Blackie Mansfield, the axe murdering Henry Moore can also be considered a suspect in some of these slayings. So here's another person. Just when you think you have another guy, another fucker walks in and he's like, "No, it could be me too."
But see,
Right.
he was actually convicted.
Yeah, of his mother and grandmother.
That's messed up.
There's a lot of, like, I guess what you would call is like copycat murders.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Which I don't know, maybe, you know, some people having seen what happened in Colorado, and there was another one there that I forgot already, or Kansas, I think. Maybe they saw what happened there and they're like, well, let's do it in Villisca. And maybe this guy was like, well, that happened over there in those three cities, so let me do it to my mom and grandma, right? Again, who knows? But it just seems like there's a never fucking ending list of people that could have done it, right? And pretty good evidence against all of them. That's pretty much it on this guy. There's not too much known about it other than, you know, the fact that he was actually convicted of murder. The next one is Sam Moyer. At the inquest, it was reported that Sam Moyer, Josiah's brother-in-law, often threatened to kill Josiah Moore. However, upon further investigation, Moyer's alibi cleared him of the crime. I think this is one that they kind of like they took a while to cross off their list because of the threats that he had told Josiah himself, right? But at the end of it, I think they were able to conclusively clear him off that list. Okay. Paul Mueller. In their 2017 book, The Man from the Train, Bill James and his daughter, Rachel McCarthy James, discussed the Villisca murders as part of a much larger series of murders, which is, I think, what you're talking about, which they believe were all committed by a single serial killer. They conclude the murderer was Paul Mueller, or Miller, an immigrant, possibly from Germany, who was the subject of an unsuccessful year-long manhunt as a sole suspect.
Hey, let me stop you there.
I have like 3 lines left. As a sole suspect in the 1897 murder of a family in West Brookfield, Massachusetts, who had employed him as a farmhand. All right, go ahead.
Rude.
So the guy that I had heard, supposedly they say that they think that he also did something similar in Germany, so out of the country.
Okay. I don't think it mentions anything about this guy doing that, but let me read on. James started his research in an attempt to solve the Villisca murders, and with his daughter found archival newspaper stories detailing dozens of families murdered under similar circumstances across the U.S. The Jameses thus believe that Mueller was guilty of the Villisca murders as part of a killing spree that lasted over a decade, killing at least 59 people in 14 separate incidents, including the Colorado Springs and Paola crimes. The Jameses identify common features to these crimes, many of which were also found at the Villisca scene. Is that how you say that, Jameses?
Yeah, no, that's how I read it in my head.
Jameses?
Jameses?
Oh,
James.
yeah, maybe Jameses.
Let me
Sorry.
see. Yeah, James's.
All right.
All right. So the killer selected families who lived near railroad tracks, which is why the killer was suspected to have traveled, hence their book's titled, seemingly struck in ambush at about midnight while the victims were asleep, used the blunt side of an axe rather than the blade to strike the victims in the head and face, used an axe found at the victim's home, and left in plain sight after the murders. Covered the victims. Used an axe found at the victim's home and left in plain sight after the murders. The axe itself, not the killer. Covered the victims with blankets to prevent blood splatter. Covered windows from inside the house and locked the doors before departure. In Mueller's suspected crimes, there was often not always a sexual motive directed towards a pubescent girl, as with Lena's being partly disrobed. Yeah, so...
Wait, is that what I was talking about?
I'm pretty sure this is the one that you were mentioning, and that's actually the last one on the list, but...
I didn't mention cannibalism.
Yeah, I didn't mention anything about cannibalism, but... Oh, shoot. There we go. But yeah. So that's the last suspect. I mean, for me, it's those 4, right? It's the Reverend George Kelly, William Mansfield, Henry Lee Moore, or Paul Mueller.
I mean, the Reverend.
Nah, it was crazy.
Yeah, at least I could rule him out because.
Sounds like he was like he just wanted the attention and
Yeah.
and he didn't give.
Hey, how was he a Reverend?
I'm not gonna say nothing.
You can say it, Alex.
No, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'll
Um,
stay quiet on this one.
What is Presbyterian? Is that a branch of Christianity?
I have no idea. I'll look it up.
I don't know. I can't say I can rule them out because
I think it was Mansfield or the Mueller guy.
So, Presbyterianism is a part of the Reformed tradition within Protestantism that broke from the Roman Catholic Church.
oh, okay, so Catholic.
But look, it happened in 1912. Motherfuckers are dead now, so
Well,
All the killers.
yeah.
pretty sure everybody from then is gone.
So I guess we'll never know. But I guess it was pretty fucked up what they did though.
I think over time, I don't know. I don't know how much like evidence they have like saved
Yeah.
up from that time.
Probably
But-
none.
Yeah, but I was gonna say over time, I think they're able to come to a conclusion because like there was actually one I wanted to do a case I wanted to cover. Maybe I'll cover it my next time up, which would be
Uh-huh.
like 3 weeks from now. But there's some crazy stuff where like you think this is never gonna get solved, and like fucking there's this case called the Somerton Man. I don't know
30
if you
years
ever-
later.
No, this was longer. I think this was like 60. But the Somerton Man, there was like a guy found on the beach. Nobody knew who he was. Like they did a bunch of like tests on him.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing popped up. And like I said, like 60 or more years later, they finally were able to find out who it was. And this just came out like last year. So I think that like
Okay.
I think that with the what's it called, not the development of technology, I guess, but like, you know, with us getting more advanced in
Mhm.
technology, the advancement, there we go. In technology, I think we're going to be finding like a lot of these killers and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that the more probable ones are William Mansfield and Paul Mueller.
What about Henry Lee Moore?
Yeah. Yes, but for me, it seems like a copycat type of thing.
What he did?
Yeah, because it happened 2 years after it, right? Usually killers like that or serial killers are not able to hold off for 2 years, except fucking what's his name? I forgot his name already. BTK,
Yeah.
who was able to hold off for much longer than that. But yeah, I don't know. I think like Alex said, I think William and Paul are probably what I'm leaning more towards.
Imagine getting killed by an axe.
I don't want to.
I mean, hopefully you're gone with the first blow,
Yeah.
because otherwise.
You know what I think of?
What?
Like, yeah, have you guys seen The Walking Dead?
Mm-hmm.
That scene
I haven't.
when Glenn is getting killed?
I didn't
that's
get
the
that
Asian,
far.
huh?
You didn't get that far?
No.
That's
it's
the
'cause
Asian guy?
Huh?
Oh,
That's
I
the
stopped
Asian
watching
guy?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember on Twitter, it was like a huge thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never like watched the show, but I know.
Pretty fucked up.
Well, yeah.
But it was with a bat, no?
Well, yeah, but still, you still getting your freaking
Oh.
head smashed in.
You know how you mentioned that you think that maybe it was done with the blunt end because you don't have to like retrieve it with the what's it called?
Well, with a sharp end,
Yeah.
supposedly what I heard is it'll get stuck in your skull.
But you don't think that that's more likely to kill a person to where you only need one strike?
No, because even with the blunt head, I mean, have you ever picked up an axe? They're pretty heavy.
Yeah. They're super heavy.
So even with the blunt end, I mean, you could
Pero-
still probably knock out someone.
Yeah, but
Or definitely daze them.
what I'm saying is that you're more likely to get that kill.
And on the first strike
Yeah.
with the sharp end.
I don't know.
That's crazy though.
But then
'cause-
again, if you're killing multiple people in the same time, you hitting them with the sharp end is gonna delay you.
I read that one of them was killed with the sharp end, and the rest with the knife end,
maybe,
wait.
but
with the blunt end. Sorry, but
Maybe the last
No,
person
no.
got killed with the
they
sharp
were all
end.
killed with.
it was
with the blunt end. But so here's the thing, right? Say that was his reason for doing it, right? That he only had to strike him once. It says that all their skulls battered 20 to 30 times with the blunt end of the axe.
each.
Yeah.
Dang. Dang.
Ugh, it gave me the chills.
Well, just, I mean, you can swing faster more times with the blunt end.
Yeah, but when you consider that there was like more people in the room, so like the obviously the what's it called, the mom and the dad, they obviously slept in the same bed, right?
Uh-huh.
Like that one.
But then you gotta
And I
think.
think that was the first murder, if I'm not mistaken. There's like evidence to prove that they were the first ones to be murdered.
Okay, well there you go. Then imagine if you wake up and you see someone getting their fucking head smashed in. I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna be shocked and be like, "What the fuck," you know?
Everybody reacts differently though.
But I think shock would be a good way.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I think that would be most. I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know.
maybe
but-
fear, you know, también like.
Because I've seen like stories where actually with serial killers where they go in and they're like killing somebody and then the partner next to him wakes up and they're able to save the person, because not everybody goes into shock.
Yeah.
You know, what are the odds that?
Okay, then what if he attacked the husband first?
Yeah, but there's evidence saying that
The wife was first.
that nobody was awake while they were being killed. The only one was one of the girls,
Oh, okay then.
who was the only one that showed like signs of fighting back. I don't know. I think it's like weird. Like, it's crazy that he was able to get away with doing that much. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you'd have to get lucky to kill somebody. I know that maybe it's a big old strong guy, but to get like 8 or 7 like clean hits to kill somebody is
Yeah, I was
crazy.
gonna say, like, so did he hit them all once and then come back and
Maybe.
right?
And then do
Because
the other 19.
there's no way that you hit somebody 20 plus times
And then the other person
the
doesn't
one.
wake
Oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, they were sleeping too. So
And that's super personal, dog. Like, think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going in and like, sure, you kill them and you maybe you only need 2 strikes, but then say you go back and you fucking das, you know. I don't know. Ugh.
But didn't you say something about like a senator or something like that? And
Yeah,
then
no, it was one
bringing
of those
someone
that.
in.
So they think that the senator hired Mansfield.
But see, like, if you, I guess this is more personal than that. If somebody hires you, you're just gonna go and get the job done and that's it. You know, I don't think you would bash everybody in the head 20 plus times.
Unless you find it pleasurable.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe that
that's true,
too.
'cause
Yeah, that's
William
true.
was that type of person.
Yeah. But nah, this is like super personal.
It makes me think that they knew the family, or that
Yeah.
they knew at least the dad, and they didn't like him or something.
Like, I do think that it's like you said, that they were just staking out the plays, watching what time they went to
I
bed.
mean, maybe it was just a fucking psycho that
Well, it
just found
definitely
found
was a
pleasure out of
psycho.
it. I mean, if he did that,
Or just somebody who took pleasure in killing,
Yeah.
right? Like the serial killer.
well, yeah.
The what's his name? Mueller. Yeah, Mueller, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is a harsh one. I left out a lot of the details about, you know, because it's hard to listen to. It's harder to say. But yeah, I mean, that was it. That's pretty much it. Hasn't been solved to this day, and who knows if it's ever going to be solved.
Yeah. Over 100 years ago.
I mean, if that person did those things, I mean, I don't know if they can exhume the body. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
maybe
after a while,
it's not the same.
yeah.
I was gonna say like a DNA, like
Nah, like, what is there left after?
No, but they are able to. It just depends on how well the body has been preserved. You know what I mean? There's like a chance, pues, but there's no.
to go back and pull these motherfuckers
Yeah.
out and match, you know,
Yeah.
DNA match and shit.
No, but it would be really hard for sure. But like I said, technology is advancing every
Yeah.
day, so who knows?
But yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, I think it's the same one. So when I heard it, I told Carlos about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy.
You say you might even talk about it, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about
How
it.
were you?
Yeah.
You took the what was it? You took the Falcon Lake incident from me. So
What?
the Falcon Lake incident,
Falcon Lake incident?
wasn't that the one that you did? The
No.
or is that one that I have? Don't look into it.
I was like, no.
Fuck.
The last one I did was the Tiffany Valiante one.
Falcon who?
Shut up. Hold up. No, there was the one that the alien one, the one with the. Oh no, that's a different one. My bad. Yeah, never mind. What was the one called? The one with the. They were like lumberjacks or something.
Travis Walton.
Was that him?
Oh, the ones in Arizona, no?
Mhm.
In the
Oh, okay.
forest?
Oh yeah. Never mind then. Don't look into it. Falcon Punch.
I'm done with aliens, anyways. I'm just kidding.
You're over it now. Now that it's been confirmed by the U.S.
Or is it because you had your trip like 2 weeks ago? Was it like 2 weeks ago?
All right, let's end this show now.
Thank you for listening.
All right, we'll be back next week, right? Well, when will this be released? Give or take.
On Spotify, it should be up by tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Okay, so we'll be back next week around the same day, But definitely next week, right?
Yeah, definitely next week.
Yeah, we'll probably record Monday, but
Yeah, I mean, as long as you guys don't have anything to do.
yeah, it's a funny
Same
story
time,
about
same
that.
place.
But, all right, for sure. So we'll be back next week, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're back, hopefully every week from now on, unless
We're back and we're here to
we have
stay.
babies and shit. Unless one of us gets pregnant. All right, bye.
All right, peace out.
All right.